Welcome to the Live Bright Show, the pod for badass service-based entrepreneurs who are creating businesses and lives that are fun, successful, and free. And now your host, seven-figure business owner, coach, and founder of the Live Bright movement, here to help you own your potential, Moran.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I am so excited. I've got JC Chanowsky with me today. JC is the owner and CEO at Patriot, Illumination, and Cape Fear Pro Wash. He is a CEO at Unique Genius. He's a business growth strategist, a speaker. He's retired from the U.S. Navy after 21 years, which thank you, JC. I think that's awesome. I want to hear more about that. He's a very dedicated father, husband. He's funny. He's driven. He's buff AF, and he's living. There we go. He's living bright out there, and I'm really excited to get to know JC better and just have him join our community. So, welcome to the show, JC.
Thanks, Molly. I'm so happy to be here. And we just met, back in March down in Orlando.
Yes.
And obviously you stand out. You have way better hair than I do. So I'm low-key jealous right now. I usually have gel in my hair, but it's just been one of those days.
You have gel in your hair normally? Hang on a second.
Oh, not right now. No, this is definitely wet hair. This is definitely me on the field all day kind of hair. But I saw you out in Orlando when we're down there for Sales Boost. We had some short conversations, but they were fun conversations. Started following you on social media. You do the Live Bright, and I always say be the light. So that was a cool little thing that kind of hit off each other. So yeah, real happy to be here and talk to you, your audience, and just learn a little bit more about each other.
Yeah, very cool, JC. I do think like attracts like, and you put out this energy and enthusiasm, and I'm like, yes, like that guy, I need to know that guy better. So I'm really glad that we could finally make this happen. So yes. Let's have some fun today, get to know you better, get to know one another better. And I want to learn about your business journey, and let's just hop right into it if that's all right with you.
Yeah. And one thing we didn't mention, we mentioned all those fun titles and the business and everything. I like to call myself a fun-preneur. I don't want to be an entrepreneur because I really do enjoy having fun. And one thing that I talked to my entire team is like, I want you to have fun here. The job has to get done. We have to be serious. The mission has to get completed, but we can have fun doing it. Because the last thing I want you to do is feel like you have to go to work. I want my team to want to come to work. So that's why I always try and just cast that on my team and everything I do. And when I don't have fun, then it's time to change things up and start having fun.
I love that. That's great. A funpreneur. I've got actually one of my business mentors talks about being a funpreneur too. And that's one of the reasons that I work with her, right? So yeah, that's fantastic. So I'd love to hear, so you were in the Navy for 21 years and you were a master at arms and a recruiter. And I had to Google and to learn a little bit more about what a master at arms was. And so talk to us about making the transition. You did that for 21 years. You're retired and then you became a business owner afterwards. Can you talk to us a little bit about the transition and what went into that?
Yeah. So actually I joined in 2004. Fun fact, I did not know what a master at arms was when I joined. And they said, you have two options for a job. Master at arms was one. I said, I'd rather be doing security than delivering mail. So I did not choose the postal clerk in the Navy. 2004, I think I was 23, 24 years old. I was going nowhere fast in life. I needed some direction, needed some clarity. So a good kick in the butt was joining the military. And I had an incredible career. I quickly went off to Guam in 2004 and just got real lucky with the first 3 years of what I did. I was driving small boats and shooting weapons overseas, doing security for small boats over in Asia, Japan, Singapore, things like that. And I had a ton of fun. I really did. I really enjoyed my career. I have no regrets about what I did. 2009, I actually got out and joined the reserves. And that's where my entrepreneurial journey began with Cape Fear Pro Wash, the pressure washing. When I got out, I was like cocky and confident. I was like, I can do anything I want. I was in the military. Then I found out real quick that trying to start a business coming out of 2008 recession and all the crash and everything was not the easiest thing to do. So I quickly jumped back into the Navy and deployed for a year, moved back to New York, became a recruiter, which was really cool. I learned a lot of life skills that really played into my business as an entrepreneur as I progressed with that. So that was pretty cool. Being told no by somebody trying to get their son to join the military is a lot different than being told no when somebody says no to your estimate. So, getting told no now, it's really easy compared to a mom yelling at me, telling me to get out of her house. But learned a lot of great life skills, leadership skills, just from the military. From I think it was right around 20, 21 years was when I got out, which was October of last year. So I guess it was right at a little over 20 and a half years. Started Cape Fear Pro Wash 2009. 2016, I started Patriot Illumination, which is the Christmas light business. Again, fun. I loved Christmas lights as a kid. As I grew older, well, we didn't really have a whole lot of money as a kid, so our parents would drive us around house to house in New York, and that's how we saw Christmas lights. Freaking loved it. It was one of my favorite things to do, favorite childhood memories. I became Clark Griswold as I grew older. I would buy all the Christmas lights and put on my house. My kids loved it, the neighbors loved it. And then when I found I could make a living installing Christmas lights for people, I was all about it. And 2016, I started that. 2019 is really where the life change happened for a lot of things. One, I separated from my wife. I got out of the military full time, went back part time into the reserve so I could focus completely on both my businesses. Our business went from about 275,000 to almost $500,000 in the first year of doing that. Hired a bunch of people on our team, so we finally like started taking the business seriously. I got a life coach or business coach, joined a mastermind group, like all the things that I should have been doing that I just decided not to because I thought I knew everything. I finally did it in 2019 and like it just really changed the trajectory for my business. I mean, we just increased year over year, went from just myself and my father working to up to 23 employees at one point in our busy season hanging Christmas lights. And it's just been an incredible journey. All the things I've learned across the way, all the failures I've had, all the wins we could celebrate, being able to travel across the world and meet incredible people, including my wife, who I was able to meet at a trade show in Vegas 2.5 years ago, 2 years and like 3 months ago. Yeah, so just the journey of the entrepreneur is different for everybody. But I can't say that I look back and regret anything I did, whether it was a fail or a win or a celebration, because every piece along the way has led me to where I am today. And if I regretted something and changed one little piece, I don't know where I'd be today. I might not have got out of the Navy and just stayed in the Navy full time, or I might not have started the other business. I definitely would have met Angela. So I'm just grateful for all the opportunities along the way to be able to not only share with other people and give them tips for success and things to watch out for along the way, but just creating lasting memories with incredible people and meet people like you.
Boom, there
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, no, I love that. And what a journey. Thanks. I mean, that's amazing. And I love what you talked about in terms of, I mean, we've all had a bunch of failures. I've had some like very expensive failures, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay. And when you're in it, like you can't necessarily appreciate it, but afterwards it's like, okay, I wouldn't trade that and I will not do that again. And not only did that failure teach me about this particular thing, it taught me about all these other things too, in terms of leading or managing my business, but also myself, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's such a resilient mindset. So good for you. Good for you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
I want to back up. Wait, you're from New York? Where are you from in New York?
So lived in Westchester, Putnam County, which is above the city, but
Yeah.
also lived in Oneonta, Saratoga Springs, and Plattsburgh, and
Oh
Queens.
my. Okay, so I'm from Vermont originally, right
Oh,
across the lake from
yeah.
Plattsburgh, actually. So Lake Champlain, and I went to college in upstate New York in Poughkeepsie, and
Yeah.
yeah, and played field hockey and lacrosse like in Oneonta, like that, like all over the place. So
Very cool.
anyway, yeah, I was like, all right, so just to back up and do a little Northeast check in there.
Yeah,
Um,
my youngest daughter was born in Plattsburgh, so
okay, nice,
not much up
nice.
there. It's just cold and miserable.
Yeah, my one of my brothers owns some self-storage places up in Plattsburgh, but
Oh,
that's
cool.
about my extent of Plattsburgh knowledge actually, other than driving through it. But anyway, okay, so I'd love to hear about so I hear you that back in 2009 you're like, I'm going to start a business. What made you decide to do that after being in the Navy? And then I understand you went back into the Navy afterwards. That's when I started my business, was right when the crash happened in
Yeah.
2008, 2009. So yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't the smartest guy back then. I didn't know much. I didn't do any research prior to getting out of the military. I just knew I was getting out. I was kind of exhausted with where I was located. It was actually in Saratoga Springs where I met my ex-wife, and I just wasn't happy at that point in my career. So again, if I wasn't having fun, I want to get out. So I got out. My father, entrepreneur his whole life. He's been a carpenter by trade. My grandfather, same thing. My grandfather on my mom's side came here from Italy. He was an entrepreneur his whole life. So I had entrepreneurship in my family, but I never really like reached out and asked questions or talked to anybody about it. I just said, this is what I'm going to do. And I did
Yeah.
some research, and I loved mowing lawns back then. I had a couple side gigs where I just mow lawns for people. So I was like, let me do that. But where I'm located, southern, warm, year round, there was thousands of lawn care companies in the area. So lawn care somehow progressed into pressure washing. Spent about 2 months of research. This is back before social media and all these other things were really big. You had
Mhm.
to go to websites to chat with people, not social media. So I
Right.
had to like dig and learn a little bit about yourself. But started attending trade shows, and it was an easy intro into entrepreneurship because it's not a high cost to get there, a pickup truck and
Right.
equipment. So at that point, it just felt like the best decision. And I don't regret it. I've had a ton of fun doing it. I love the Christmas lights way more than I love pressure washing. But along the way, we've done everything that we've needed to be successful. I think we just looked and it's like 692 five-star reviews for Cape Fear, over 250 for Patriot, number one rated pressure washing and Christmas light installation in the area.
Nice.
We're real big on branding. We're real big on giving back to the community and donating to needy families for both sides of the companies. And yeah, I knew that I never wanted to go back to a 9 to 5. So entrepreneurship was the only way. And I'm so grateful I took the leap.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's awesome. That's awesome. So what's the most fun you've had? Because you have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But let's just say in the last year, what's the most fun you've had in business
Then the last year.
in the
Ooh.
last year?
All right, let's just 2000. I'm trying to think of my traveling. Well, I can talk about two stories. One not so fun, but a great story of resilience. Let's talk about that one because a lot of people talk about the highs. I'm going to tell you about the low.
Cool.
And
I love it. I love it. I like to
yeah,
keep it real. I want to like peel back the onion and look at all of it. So let's do
yeah.
it.
So last year, March, Angela and I were putting on sales booths. This is the first time we put the event on. And as that was going on, my admin manager, she put her 2 weeks in at the busy season while we're trying to put it on an event with 175 people. And everything started just imploding. I've had a great track record with employees. She was with me for 3 years. My operations was with me for 5 or 6 years. My sales guy with me for 4 years. And all three of them were gone last year. And it wasn't really like they all just said you suck and we're out. It's all different reasons. One went on to another job, one had medical issues. The other
Yeah.
one we just couldn't agree anymore. And then literally just everybody was like, you know what? We're just gonna clean house. And it was just absolute hell. I was ready to quit, put it on an event with 175 people talking about business and being successful. Meanwhile, I'm drowning in the background, trying to
Mm.
just put on face to get through the event so people can learn good things and go back and be happy and not just hear about my misery and pity party. And we're getting ready for our Christmas light season. I didn't have a good admin set up, and that's like the core of our business. And like I only had two people coming back from the year prior to hang Christmas lights, and it's not really easy to get really talented people for seasonal. And I'll tell you what, we freaking put our Santa hats on and we kicked ass. We had a bunch of mistakes along the way, but it was the happiest our team has been in many years during the Christmas light install season. So of the 5 years of having employees, 6 years for Christmas lights. It was the happiest everybody's ever been. We did incredible numbers, just shy of $1 million in less than 3 months. And we're able to walk away with I mean, we even talked about it today with my admin, like just incredible takeaways on how we can do better. We learned a lot about ourselves, a lot about how systems were not there, and we relied on one person to do it, and now she's gone. And we're like, I don't know what to do because she handled it for 4 years straight. So it was a good awakening to like we think we have everything in check as business owners because everything's running smoothly until that person's gone. Then you're like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't answer the phones. I don't know how to respond to this person. I don't know how to do this. I know what I know, but not what they know. So it was a great success story, but also very eye-opening to like you really need to get inside your business, even though you think it's running smoothly. There's a lot of things that could be implemented and checks and balances to prevent any issues going forward. So that was it, like the 2024 heartbreak slash happy ending, if you will. I do love sharing because again, a lot of people share the wins, the cars, the travel, the houses, the toys. Business is great, but really in the back end, sometimes we're on fire and trying to
It's
put those things out. And those are the stories that most people need to hear because they're struggling right now and they think they're alone. But guess what? You're not alone. It's just nobody really talks about it.
You're right. You're totally right. It's funny in my coaching, I'm always like, let me tell you about this mistake I made. I'd like to try to help people avoid the pain and suffering, like hiring expensive managers who I should not have hired. And there's so many mistakes.
I had to hear that too.
Oh God. Ow, I know, right? But yeah, no, I think it's important. And then there are some of us who I think even if we hear other people's mistakes, we're like, we got to learn, we got to do it on our own terms and learn stuff, get our hands dirty, like literally and figuratively, and go through it ourselves until we know better.
And some people don't like sharing stories because then they feel like a failure and they'll perceive everybody else will see them as a failure. But in reality, we're all failing at something at some point in life, and how we rebound or react, resilience, fail forward from that. And I don't ever want to fail in life and keep it a secret if it can help somebody else. So if I can share that mistake, whatever it was, and even just one person's like, holy cow, thank you so much. That just saved me a heartache, a hire, a fire, whatever it is. Like that lesson was paid.
I love it. Where does that come from? Where does that come from, JC? That willingness to like, because it's also very vulnerable to be able to do that, and a lot of people are just not able. They just don't want to for whatever reason. So, what's that
Yeah,
about?
I just I like to say, we talked about at the beginning, I like saying be the light, and I like to be able to just cast that vision with other people, and just if I can just put a smile, and that's goes back to the Christmas lights. When I do Christmas lights, I don't hang Christmas lights to go put lights on your house, your neighbor's house, the business. I do it for the people who can't afford the lights or having a bad day, and then driving by and it's 5 o'clock and it's pitch dark in November, December, and they see Christmas lights. I'm not gonna know it, but if they see it drive by and smile and just have a minute of like happiness or joy, that's pretty freaking awesome that our team is able to do that. So when we hire people and train people and we do all these free giveaways, like we tell them like this is not just a job. Like there's a lot more that goes behind this on why we do things other than just collecting a paycheck. And it really just changes their attitude and their perception of the job and makes it more enjoyable for them. So yeah, I don't know. Call it a weakness, whatever you want to call it. Some people want to say it, but I call it like, I don't know.
No, I think that's really strong, and that just your story just made me think of a memory actually of my mom who's been on my mind a lot lately. She Yesterday was her birthday, but she's not alive, and there was this house, little tiny house, clearly not a lot of money, whatever. That every Christmas they lit it up, okay? And this is Vermont, winter, electricity like is expensive, and their bills went like they probably quadrupled or quintupled or whatever. They went way up, and she would go out of her way to drive by their house to see it because it always made her feel so good. And she would stop sometimes and leave an envelope with some extra cash on their porch
Yeah.
because she felt like it was like a community service, kind of like what you're saying. That's awesome. Yeah, you're on the right track. I love that perspective as a business owner too, because that's such a great way to imbue meaning and purpose into what could just be a manual labor job for some people, but you're really giving it purpose,
Yeah.
which I think is obviously smart and profound.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
great.
You can
Yeah.
gain something from everything you do. It's just up to you and how you want to help your team be successful. And anybody who leaves the company, I never get upset with them. I just hope that they learn something from working with us that they can use professionally or personally in their life to better themselves.
Yeah.
We're not, I tell everybody, you're not here to retire here. You might be, but you're not likely to. It's a pressure wash,
Right.
whatever, but learn while you're here and use that for your benefit later on.
That's great. That's great. You're running a service business, two service businesses, obviously. Is the pressure washing, is that year round?
So we stopped that one typically October to the middle of
Okay.
November just to hang lights, just because we're so busy and the revenue generation between the two is like night and day. One could do about $2,500 a day, the other one could do five to six, $7,000 a day. So we just put
Okay.
everybody over. We sub all the work for the pressure washing and just focus on Christmas lights.
Okay. Okay. So when you hire people, are you hiring them with the thought that you're going to keep them year-round employment between the two businesses?
So the seasonal guys we do hire, we've always kept one or two of those individuals on year round because they display the attributes that we want within our team that fit within our vision, our core values. So we tell everybody we're, transparent, like, hey, this is a seasonal job with the opportunity to stay on year round. But while you're here, you're gonna have a lot of fun doing it, but you're gonna be really busy because once November 1st kicks off and Halloween's over, it's like a light switch for everybody. They're like, all right, Halloween's done. I don't even care about Thanksgiving. Let's put up some Christmas lights. So we get
Right.
busy like 5, 6 days a week, usually 50, 60 hours a week. These guys are just cranking out Christmas lights.
Wow. Wow. Very cool. How do you, how do, when you're, how do you, I'm just trying to think, because obviously I have a house cleaning company and that's just year round, whatever, recurring revenue for the most part. But how do you gear up from like zero to how many employees for 3 months?
Yeah, so last year I think we were at just installers was about 12, 14 with maybe 14 total. It's not easy. It's
Yeah.
really not easy to find rock stars in October that want to work their butts off and just be done with you in January. But I will say, if you put the proper things in place, you can be very successful. One, you got to have a great culture. They want to be there. So you want to make sure they're happy while they're there. You got to have a great vision. Give them a reason to stay. We talk about, I tell them everything. I'm very honest. I'm like, look, you're going to have a lot of fun doing this. November's going to suck. It's a lot of work, but you're going to make a ton of money to save up for the holidays with overtime. So take advantage of it. And then December, we're going to die down about December 15th. We're going to take 2 weeks off. We're going to have an epic blowout Christmas party that everybody loves. I go all out. I think we spent I think it was $9,000 last year on Christmas party. We
Damn.
traded Christmas lights and then they handed me the bill for what was left over. And I was like, I don't even care. Like, I didn't care. It was just so much fun. Everybody was so grateful. We handed out Christmas presents and we just laughed and drank the night away. And it was just such an incredible night. And then that was with the gifts and other things too. But it was,
Yeah.
I never wanted to, I always talk about the party because again, I want people to have a reason, a purpose to want to keep going and not just
Right.
give it up and hang it up. And everybody that's been there before talks about it and all the fun. So I don't want to like, oh, epic Christmas party. We're going to McDonald's and pick anything off the dollar menu. Like, no,
Right.
this
Right.
was a five-star steakhouse that Angela and I and the kids went to 2 nights before because we've never been there, and it was like, wow, we picked a good one on this one. But I didn't. And I even told them when they made the set menu, I'm like, I don't cheap out. Give them the best. They deserve the best, and I want them to feel that way because I want them to want to come back next year. I want them to talk to everybody and say, hey. That was an awesome company to work for. You should go work for them next year. And these little things that we can do to pay it forward to the team, like that's how year over year we've been able to get rock stars. I think the average, I've only fired one person in season in the last 4 years. And once we get started after our training, I think only two or three people have ever left the company. And it's usually within the first 2 weeks. They're like, it's not for me on ladders or things like whatever it is. But it's just a matter of keeping the team motivated, bringing in breakfast. Angela, myself, and the kids will actually get the griddle out and serve them breakfast, bring them lunch during the day. Treat them like humans. Yeah, I hate using the word employees because I like using the word team members, but treat them like they're family. This way they
Yeah.
want to stay there. And then when they're having a bad day, they just think about whether the paycheck or the Christmas party or tomorrow's a brighter day, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love, I think that's so, I mean, culture and showing our employees appreciation, our team members appreciation is so key because the kind of work that we do is often pretty thankless. It's like, it's considered low skill, which I disagree with, but low skill manual labor. You don't need a lot of education or whatever necessarily to do some of these jobs, and typically really unappreciated.
yeah.
And so, if we can create a culture of appreciation, which I'm hugely into, and speak in people's language of appreciation, whatever it might be, and because people leave, all the research shows people often aren't leaving because of pay.
Mhm.
They're leaving because they don't feel like they're being appreciated. They're not being seen for who they are or what their contributions are or whatever it might be. That's obviously smart. And I love what you said. It's interesting. Like you do a bang up, like very intense, like 2.5, 3 months and a huge party so that there's like these sticking points so that people remember, which is
Yeah.
really smart because they're going to go off and maybe they're looking for something next year, or maybe their buddy's looking for something next year. So
Yeah.
it's smart to create those very memorable experiences.
Yeah, we've had some guys come back and just for the season, whatever job they have, they'll come back or they'll tell their friends to come work for us. And you
Yeah.
talk about money too. Pay is not what it used to be as far as like keeping people at a job. I've had many people, not many, I've had a few people leave and beg to come back because the $3 they were making the other side was just not worth the hassle, lack of appreciation of the job. Like they weren't happy anymore. Like they thought $3 an hour back in the day might have been a lot, but $3 an hour, it is a lot, but it's not a lot. To
Right.
take away from your life, just sucking your soul out showing up to a job that nobody cares about you. You're just a number.
Right. Well, and now, especially as things have changed generationally and whatever, it's like it's not about pay. It's about life. It's about having a lifestyle that fits who you want to be and maybe not working all the time. It's interesting because in our industry, there's a bunch of pay for performance models that are based on number of hours per week that people work. Like the more hours they work, the more per hour or commission level they make. And we don't do it that way in my company because there's a lot of people that are really fine working 30 hours a week who are awesome employees and they're not going to be motivated to push to that 35 hours. So it's like we have pay for performance, but it's built more on quality and reliability and culture fit and a few things rather than just how many hours you work a week. Because I think after COVID, everyone's just screw this. No, like I got used to having time to hang out. I want to hang out.
It did change the workforce for like years to come. And we
Yeah.
just switched to pay performance for our lead tech on the wash side. And Molly, let me tell you, like, you want to talk about a 180. Like the guy was a great worker. He's 23 years old, pretty much ran the company with him and a technician. We really scaled back on washing this year just because I didn't really, for many reasons. But anyway, they're starting to get some like comments and complaints and I had conversations with them. And then I finally switched him over to performance pay. It was a month ago now. And his average daily truck revenue was about $2,100. Since I switched it over, it's been $2,900. He's getting back to the shop earlier. He's always happy, like literally always happy. And if there's anything wrong, he's happy to talk about it, not just being like, ugh, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
or complaining about everything. And now his paychecks are literally $500 more every single week. I've never been happier to write that paycheck. And I even told him
Right.
this week, I'm like, dude, wow, you freaking killed it. Like your paycheck is this. I can't believe it. And week over week, it's been that much money. And now he's like, give me more jobs for the day. Before it was like, I'll give you your $2,000 a day and I'll be back at 4 o'clock and check out in
Right.
8 hours. Now he's like, I want more. Or he'll go
Yeah.
upsell some jobs. So it's
Yeah.
pretty cool to see that shift. Most business owners are like, well, I want to keep all the money for myself. I'm like, no, like he's giving us an extra $5,000 a week. I'm giving him an extra $500 a week. He's happy. I'm happy. Let's go.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's just smart. And yeah, I think, and that builds loyalty and all kinds of other things, obviously. Yeah. Hey, friend, a quick break to ask you to please go to livebrightshow.com to be added to my email list. Here's the thing. I hate email, so I pretty much guarantee you're not going to receive anything excessive. Only important things like when I have new options in my coaching program, offer free challenges, new courses, release a new pod, or perhaps an occasional biz life tip. That's livebrightshow.com. Now back to the pod. I want to talk to you about leadership a little bit because you're leading teams. And were you in a leadership role in the Navy as well? You are.
Yes.
What kind of stuff did you learn there that has really helped you lead in your companies?
Yeah. So, in most businesses, you have to wait till you get to a certain point in that career to become a leader. In the Navy, day one, you have to be a leader. Like literally the day you got out of boot camp or on the bus, you're getting yelled at. And if you're not a leader, well, then you're a follower and then you're stuck in behind. And I never really had a leadership role in life prior to doing this. I mean, I was always just a worker. I showed up. So I didn't really have that. And then when I got off the bus in boot camp in March of 2004 and it was freezing cold outside and I'm getting yelled at, I'm like, well, I have two choices right now. I can continue to get yelled at or I can lead and stop getting yelled at. So I did. And like within 8 hours, they put me in a leadership role for my division of like 95 people. I ended up losing a rank in the military because my recruiter told me to lie about a bunch of stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. So they said, hey, you were an E3. You lied to us. We're going to keep you in the military. We're going to bust you down to E2. Because of my leadership in boot camp and my class, my instructor was like, huh, well, that sucks. We're going to promote you right back up to E3 because you're so freaking awesome, which was pretty cool. But then over the years, like I took a bunch of leadership courses. I never wanted to be a follower. I always wanted to own my career. So in order to do that, I had to lead through it and lead other people. And I was pretty good at it. Funny story, I just had a conversation with somebody who was a senior leader for me back in 2011. I was getting ready to go over to Dubai for a deployment. And I'll never forget, I was driving this pickup truck and I was on base in California and I drove the pickup truck through a drive-through McDonald's, which I wasn't supposed to do. The truck was so high, it hit the drive-through and damaged the truck, damaged the drive-through. And I had to go back and tell senior chief that, hey, senior chief, I messed up. And he said to me, "You disappoint me." And I literally just had this conversation with him this morning, like 5 o'clock in this morning. I'm like, dude, I'd never forget this conversation. He's like, man, I was just messing with you to get in your head. I was like, well, it's stuck for the rest of my freaking life that I've never want to disappoint anybody. And I teach that to people. I'm like, just don't disappoint anybody. Like, you can disappoint yourself if you want to, but do everything you can to not disappoint anybody, because that's a perception, and you don't want people to think you are a disappointment in life. So I teach my kids that, and I've never wanted to disappoint anybody else, even though I know I have, I'm sure. But anyway, along the way, I've just learned all these fun tricks, skills, taking leadership skills from other leaders, take the good and adapt that, take the bad and make sure you don't become that leader, because we all do know there's good leaders and bad leaders out there. So you control the leadership style you want. Do you want to be a micromanager, or do you want people to be empowered and learn how to do things on their own? They're going to make
Right.
mistakes. Cool. Let's learn from it. As long as nobody gets hurt, let's have fun, learn from it, and keep going. So once I kicked myself in the head as an entrepreneur in 2019, I said, all right, it's time to actually be a leader, not just lead, and empower my team to do things. That's when I started hiring people. That's where I started delegating things to people. And I just kept hiring, and I kept hiring, and I realized how fun it was, and how fun it was to lead people and watch them grow personally and professionally into, different positions, or see their growth over the years of working with us. And it's just been fun. And I can talk about it for hours about leadership, because it's just, we've all worked with those people you never want to work for again. And if everybody just sat back and realized and was able to accept criticism, because that's the hardest part, is somebody
Mhm.
telling you you're messing up or doing something wrong, and just say thank you and just learn from it to how to evolve to be a better leader for yourself, your family, your team, whatever it is, then we can all like just have more fun and want to work
Let's
with you.
have more fun. What would you say to somebody just starting out in business who is gonna, maybe they have a couple employees, or they're about to hire a few employees? Where would you tell them to look or to develop their leadership skills?
Yeah. One, get a mentor for somebody that
Yeah.
is where you want to go, because they've done the things that you're trying to do, and lean into them. I highly suggest paying for a coach. I don't know too many super successful people that haven't had a coach in their life. Probably don't know anybody, actually. And it is a cost, it's an expense, but there's an investment in yourself at that point, that once you have a monetary value to pay somebody to help you, and it's all about collapsing time at this point, because I can do it myself in 5 years, or I could pay somebody to do it and be doing it in 2 years. So that's a very good return on investment by hiring that. And once I finally did that in 2019, when I got a coach, I really woke up, took everything seriously. I listened, because and implemented. Most people just listen and like, yeah, they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
And I see it all the time. I've seen people who started their business the same year I did, and they're still just doing the same things they did 10, 15 years ago. And they're blaming everybody else. It's everybody's fault. It's the economy. It's nobody wants to work. Meanwhile, there's so many other successful people out there doing the
Right.
things you're trying to do. It's just because we have a different mindset. We're able to adapt. We're able to hire, delegate, and empower people. And that's, I guess, to answer your question, would be get the mentor, but then find somebody you can trust. Don't, I mean, there's so many bad coaches out there. So do your research, please.
So many.
But
Yes.
do it, because once you start paying for it and you start investing in what they're saying, and that money's coming in, and you're hiring more people, and your revenue is increasing, and now you just passed your goal and you increase your goal, you're like, holy cow, you're right, because I would have been light years back if I didn't do this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've always been a big believer in coaches. And I think for me, one of the changes I made that really helped my success in my cleaning business in particular was hiring somebody in the cleaning industry. Like I had a coach who was not in the industry. They were just like a general business consultant. And, there was some stuff I learned in there,
Yeah.
but it wasn't until I got very industry specific that I was like, okay. And then everything changed, right? So
That's a great point, and I back that 100%. As you're starting out, stick with somebody in the industry. But as you grow and scale it, then it gets to a point where business is business, and now it's more strategy.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
then that's like high level moves of strategy. Now, then you can go outside to get the guy who's done 5 million, 5 billion, whatever it is. Get the guy that's done it, not the guy that's doing it with you. But yeah, absolutely. I do believe staying in your industry, because they're going to have a lot of great ideas, understand exactly what you're trying to do, and had the
Yeah.
mistakes along
Yeah.
the
And I love actually how you said that in reverse too, because it's interesting because that's what I did then. And now my mentors are not in the industry, but I have a bunch of peers and people who are doing better than me that I can tap into when I want to in the cleaning industry. And then I have mentorship like that's bigger. What I mean, and that's actually one of the events I met you at is the event that you put on where it's just a bunch of different people masterminding and learning about sales and different things. And so, yeah, it's almost like the opposite. I did it, but anyway, I did it the wrong way at first, but there's lessons and who cares
Yeah.
and whatever. Yeah,
Just
here we
another,
are. Here
yeah,
we are.
another
Yeah.
expensive mistake, but you learn from it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd love to ask you a little bit more about your life if that's cool with you. I love talking business, but and you've got to me, when I see you in the world, and of course, it's mostly social media and then in person back in the spring, hopefully again here soon, one of these days as well. You're doing a lot of stuff. Like you've got a couple businesses, you've got a couple kids, you've got a wife. She has a very successful business. You're helping her with that business. I get to talk with her tomorrow. I'm really excited. So we'll talk all about that and unique genius. And actually, look at this. Got a unique.
Yes.
There we go.
Perfect.
And yeah, and so the more successful you become, and the more that you're doing, the more opportunity comes your way. I'm sure you've noticed that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How do you filter through that? How do you make decisions about what you want to pursue and do and not? Because I've noticed this massive uptick of opportunity in the last few years, and I've had to change my filters for why I say yes to certain things or no to certain things. Like for a while, my filter was, is it fun? Yes, okay, I'm in. And that's not my filter anymore because there's so much fun stuff that I'd be saying yes all the time. And so my filter has changed more recently to is it calm, which stands for a whole other thing, which it also includes fun in there. So like how do you filter through all that, JC, to make
Yeah.
decisions?
Yeah, and I think in the beginning we all get excited and say yes to everything, and it that is a weakness because you're running yourself thin. Like, yeah, I want to attend this event. Yeah, I'm going to attend this event. Yeah, I'll go train here for free. Yeah, I'll do this for free because you want exposure. You want to get out there and help people. And most people think if you're speaking at an event, you're getting paid thousands of dollars and everything's taken care of for you and blah blah blah. No, we're doing it on our own dime most of the time. I'm
Yep.
not. I'm not like these big name David Goggins, Sean Whalen making $50,000 an event. It'd be nice, maybe one day, but not today. But I do it because like I genuinely care about other entrepreneurs to get out there and do it. So that was like a fun experience to be able to get out there and get on stage. And I'll never forget, it was like 2 years ago, was January, I think it was I guess 3 years ago, January 3 years ago down in Florida at another event, I had my first speaking opportunity. And I reached out to this guy and I said, "Hey, I'd love to speak at your event." It was real small, about 100 people. And he gave it to me. He gave me the opportunity. And then fast forward to the huge convention. Are you going to the huge this year, by chance?
Yeah, you gonna be there?
Yeah, Angela and I are speaking on Thursday.
All
So,
right,
yeah.
fantastic.
But we're there. I'm there with my kids and my dad actually because I love traveling with them to business events. And there was a breakout room and it was empty and I was in there with a couple of people and I put my website on the big screen right behind us and I took a picture and I said, "In 2 years, I'm going to be on the stage speaking." Because it's a big event for the washing industry. And sure enough, a couple other speaking opportunities throughout the year. I got asked to speak at the huge the very next year. So I've spoke
That's
there
awesome.
2 years now. This will be the third year in a row. But you got to put yourself out there first off to do these things. Like it doesn't just happen. Well, it doesn't always happen by chance. You got to
Right.
create the opportunities, ask for it, be vulnerable, be humble, and do it. I always say do it for the right reasons, but have fun doing it as well too. But yeah, as it progressed, then it was like, well, we want you to speak here. We want you to travel here and teach these people to do this stuff. And then it just got to like, all right, now I value my time a lot more than I did years ago. So then it's like, okay, does this fit in those brackets of again, like you talked about is it charm you said? Or calm,
Actually, it's calm. It's
yeah,
calm. It's
calm,
calm,
yeah.
which stands for a whole thing. Is it for me? Is it a connected thing? Is it aligned with my values? Is it lucrative in some way? And is it momentum building? Like that's
Yeah.
my new filter
Love it.
for most things. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. So then you have to dial in and figure out like, does it
Yeah.
really fit in your future? Is it going to help you 10x? Angela loves 10x. She'll talk about that tomorrow. Is
Okay,
it gonna
cool.
help you 10x what you're trying to do right now? So then we
Yeah.
had to start saying like, all right, we can't go do this one and this one. And now we have like one that we're like, and a toss up. It's actually at the huge, and there's another event going on at the same time. So we're like, all right, we can go to the huge, but then we have to leave the same night and get to this Texas and go to this other one. And it was hard saying no because when you have people asking you to show up for them and you got to tell them no, you got to do it politely. and make the decision, but you need to do it for your sanity because we can't be everywhere and be intentional for the right reason. So yeah, it's just, I guess it does have to fit in those buckets. And Angela and I are avid travelers. We travel
Yeah.
a lot. And that's why we have this map back here as a wedding gift from our friend Dan Plata. And
Uh-huh.
we have another, actually no, this is from Angela. Dan Plata's is downstairs. And Dan's was pretty cool because it came with pins for all the locations you've been. And Angela and I think we've been to like 9 countries and 15 states in 2 years. It's
Wow.
pretty crazy. And we've been to Europe 4 times now. We
That's
went,
a lot.
yeah, we went to Philippines last year. We're going back to the Philippines next month to go meet the entire Unique team. And now when we travel, we do it with intention. We do it, well, one, is it healthy for our lifestyle? Because we're very avid in working out. We work out 6 to 7 days a week, every day at 5 o'clock, except for Saturday, Sunday, it's probably like 8 o'clock. But, can that fit in our lifestyle to keep our health and vision alive to do the things we want to do? Does the purpose fit with what we're trying to grow our companies? And is it going to be a benefit to other people? And there's a couple other things too, but yeah, it was definitely fun saying yes, but now you're looking back like, yeah, I really should have done all those things. But you're
Right.
able to learn along the way, and it opened up other opportunities to meet amazing people like yourself, Drew, and all our friends. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. So yeah, because you travel, I think you travel. You might travel more than me, which says something. And I'm calming my travel down a little bit. I keep saying that, but then I'm leaving next week and then I'm leaving 2 weeks after that. And then I'm so I don't actually know, but I'm working on it, but I have things in the books.
it's addicting for me. And we went a whole 4 or 5 weeks without traveling, and I was itching. Like I'm like, Angela, can we just book a flight? I don't care where it is. Like just something about being on a plane for me. And it probably goes back to like not doing any of this when I was a kid. And we're just not very
Yeah.
fortunate. And to have these opportunities, and I'm a Delta snob. So we always get upgraded to comfort and then usually get upgraded to first class. And then when we go to the sky clubs and just relax, and it's just like a different lifestyle. And I always joke about this, but it's like I used to be a peasant in the back of the plane by the bathroom, but now we're able to enjoy nicer things because Delta rewards us for it, and we just love taking advantage of it. But yeah, traveling is just something. That's why I joined the Navy because I love traveling. So it fits in the bucket of happiness for me, and we have fun doing it. And we're like absolutely incredible travel partners. Like zero plans until we get there, and the plans change 100 times. We're still happy. So that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's great. Well, it looks like you guys have a lot of fun together. How do you maintain? Because I saw a post that you created recently on social media that was like talked about kind of like your perfect morning routine
Yeah.
would tell us about your perfect morning routine because this really fits into like living bright and all of that. Tell us about that. And then how do you maintain all of that with your very busy full life?
Do you want my ideal perfect that we're striving for?
Yeah, let's hear
Yeah.
it.
All right. I got Angela before I met her. She would get up every day at 4:21 or something like that. I don't know because right now it's 4:21 every day we get up, or at least the alarm goes off. Then she'll roll over and get some cuddles, and we'll snooze. Gym 5 o'clock in the morning. Something about doing the gym first thing in the morning. There's no excuses the rest of the day, and I just feel amazing. And when we don't go to the gym, if somebody's sick or something like that, like the whole day seems off. So my ideal day would be gym in the morning, come home. We have a cold plunge and a sauna here. Do that for another hour. Angela likes going for walks. I would do some type of cardio. Again, just something about being on the move, active. I mean, we're both like almost at our peak performance and health right now compared to where we
Yeah.
were years ago when we first met. We feel great, we look great, and we get compliments all the time, which is very exciting too when people see the results and are just, how did you do it? That's another story that people start talking about.
Right.
But they never said that 4 years ago. They never
Right.
asked me when I was in the Navy, was I a Navy SEAL 4 years ago? Because I was out of shape and I wasn't doing the things I needed to do. Now, are you a sports player, a Navy SEAL? I'm
Oh,
saying,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. It's a big compliment, but do the gym, and then it would be like some type of business coaching or mentorship, being able to help other entrepreneurs. That's the cool thing about Unique Genius is like we're able to help other entrepreneurs buy back their time to be successful and work their unique genius. So we're really passionate about helping people out, however it is, on social media. That's why we post like everything we do. It's not because we're like bragging or want people to like, oh, look at these people. No, it's because like we want to show people like opportunities are out there for you. I grew up poor. I
Yeah,
go to
you're showing what's possible. I mean,
yeah,
I do some of the same stuff with all my travel and all my like hanging around and whatever. Like it's just this is possible. Like
yeah.
and that's yeah,
And
totally.
you have a choice. You have a choice to stick in your 9 to 5 and just make a normal paycheck. You have a choice to be a business owner that suffers silently in the corner, or you can make a choice to change and create opportunity for yourself. So I want people to see like there are opportunities out there for you if you go ahead and take to try and execute on them. So all these travel things we do, I don't go buy first class tickets. I buy a main cabin ticket on every single flight we do, and then we get upgraded because we're loyal travelers to Delta. It's something I chose to stick to Delta so we could take advantage of the opportunity. So I just want people to see you can do the things, but you have to be intentional. You have to show up for yourself and do it. Working out
Mhm.
every single day, doing hard things. So yeah, back helping business owners out there, and really, with Unique Genius, we can work anywhere. That's the part of the business. It's virtual workers, so we can literally be in Bahamas, in the Philippines, in New York City, working, helping other entrepreneurs, and not be stuck here in this house. We love our house, but we love traveling more. So that'd be like the ideal day. Long workouts, helping business owners, traveling, and spending time with family.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. So it seems like you're like doing a lot of that.
Yes, we're getting to perfection. I mean, we have a very like detailed plan that we're getting to there to help 10x the company. But ultimately, it's coming back to I've had people help me. Now it's how can I help other people?
It's awesome.
Yeah, so that's just fun. I really do. I'm very passionate. I've had people ask all the time, like, how much can I pay you to help me? And at some point, I need to stop saying yes. I need this much money. But for now, where we're at or I'm at, I'm very grateful to be able to say, I just want to help you. Let me just help you because if I help you, you pay it forward to go help somebody else out. Just like when I spoke on stage 3 years ago, I had a kid who spoke at Sales Boost. He's 18 years old. They gave him an opportunity to speak on stage for the first time. He absolutely crushed it. First time he ever spoke. I'm like, hey man, I told him why I did it. And I said, I want you to pay that forward to somebody else in the future when you have the opportunity.
That's great. That's great. I love it. I love it. All right. My gosh. Dude, we could keep going, but I want to be really respectful and mindful of your time. I think we had like 50 minutes booked and we're over it. Do you have just like 5 minutes for a couple more questions?
Yes. Oh, this is so much
Okay.
fun. Yeah, let's
Okay.
go.
Awesome. 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 All right. So this is a wrap up, whatever. Just a couple of would you rather. I mean, it's funny because when I put these questions in originally as part of my podcast plan and episodes, I was like, this will be fun, like at the end. And I'm like, I don't actually need a fun segment because the whole thing ends up being pretty fun typically. But anyway, it's just another view. So I'm sure you know the game Would You Rather, which is just usually silly and whatever. But so would you rather spend a week in a spaceship like exploring or in a submarine under the sea checking things out?
I'm going space. Had an opportunity to be on a submarine in the Navy, and it was the one thing that did not excite me. I don't know. I think I'd rather blow up in space than implode underwater. I'll take my space option.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. Would you rather be hot all the time, like just hot all the time, which you probably are since you live in like North Carolina, but anyway, or a human bear, like covered in hair, and you'd probably be hot then too, but anyway, just
Oh,
covered in hair,
I
face,
can't
everything.
stand the heat, but I also can't stand hair, so I'm going with the heat.
Okay.
That just scares me. Think about it. Like this is the most facial hair I can grow. I have a very Joe Dirt physique when it comes to facial hair. So like, yeah,
Well, it cracks me up. I mean, so people who are listening can't see, but you know, it cracked me up, JC, in the beginning. You're like, oh, I usually have hair gel in. I'm like, where do you put it? Do you just put lotion on your scalp? Like, I don't understand because my hair is so short.
no, this is
Um,
long. This is long. Like my kids and everybody, they're like, JC, you just got your haircut 2 weeks ago. And that's one thing that brings me joy is going and sitting down with the same person every 2 weeks to get a haircut. She's my barber, she's my therapist, and she's just somebody I can talk to and look forward to. So
awesome.
I like my haircuts.
That's awesome. All right. Before I ask the last question, I want to ask you, where can people find you? If they want to find you, your business, Unique Genius, whatever it is, where can people find you?
Yeah, social media. So on Facebook, it'll be Jared Chanowsky because I had to get the blue check and they wanted my legal name. Instagram, JC Chanowsky, unique-genius.com for more information about that. And reach out. If you have questions about anything, business, life, Christmas lights, pressure washing, dad bods, whatever it is, reach out. Let's have fun. Let's talk about it. Traveling, hell yeah, let's talk.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Dad bods. You said dad bods. Do you know the entrepreneur and like he's got a great dad bod as well, Sam Parr?
No.
Oh, check him out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look him
I
up
think you
now.
dig him. Check him out on Instagram. So he and Sean Purry have a podcast called My First Million, and it's a great podcast. I started listening to it years ago, and he is super goal oriented and all kinds of things. But he decided he wanted to get in the best shape of his life right before he was having his first kid, and he did. And he like documented the whole transformation and stuff. It'd be fun for you to probably check out. But yeah, Sam Parr. All right, last question for you, JC, and all that contact information we'll put in the show notes just so you know, so listeners know. But this life that you got, which I invite people on the show who I think are living bright, and to live bright means to live a life that's bold, real, and authentic, intentional, growing, healthy, and thriving. And so I'm like, I don't want anyone on here who's not living bright. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're just like positive Polly all the time. It's like you're real. Like you had the hard shit, you're willing to talk about it, and then you're also going to talk about this, getting upgraded to first class all the time and how that makes you feel or whatever it might be. It's the full spectrum of living. And I'm really grateful to have you on this show. So this bright life that you've got going on, would you say that it's more by luck or by design?
Oh, by design. Yeah, absolutely by design. I'm very intentional in what we're doing. I'm so grateful for Angela, my wife. Like I just met her, like I said, March. It was March in Vegas, 2023. No, yeah, anyway, 2.5 years ago. I can't do math. Yeah, 2023. And right before I met her, I just had a conversation with somebody. I'm like, dating life is horrible in the 40s. But I said, if I find somebody that I want to be with, I want them to want to travel because traveling can be difficult, to have a great job as an entrepreneur so we can share the same life, not be stuck to the 9 to 5, and just a great human. And that was fate, chance, whatever. We manifested that conversation to meet at that location, and we literally never left each other's side from the moment we met. Like,
Wow.
like she lived in Omaha, I lived in North Carolina, but every other week we were together, traveling back and forth, going places, we were in New Orleans for an event. We were like all over the place going to events. Then she finally moved here in July the same year. But everything we've done since then has been very calculated to get us to where we are today. And that's not luck. Yeah. I do believe in luck, but not luck of the lifestyle we live right now.
Congratulations on it. I freaking love it. It seems awesome. And what a pleasure having you here. So thank you for being here on the Live Bright Show. Thank you to everyone for listening today. And remember to look up JC on social media. He's a lot of fun to follow. He has some really good stories, some great advice, and really fun travel pics. So thanks so much, JC. And remember, everyone, live bright.
And that's it for today. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Live Bright Show. If you enjoyed this pod, please go to livebrightshow.com to be in the know for new program offerings and podcast releases. Molly has more awesome guests and content coming your way, so you're going to want to be on that list. Also, just because you're still listening, it would be incredible if you could go ahead and subscribe to this podcast and provide the show with a 5-star review. You know how they help. Go forth, have fun, and live bright, friends.